No one noticed her on the first day until she walked into the classroom with her hood pulled low, eyes scanning the floor, gripping her sleeves like they were her only shield. The whispers began before she even sat down. "Who's the ghost?" "Girl looks like she hasn't spoken in years. She's gonna cry if the wind blows too hard." Her name was Mira, and to everyone at Ridgeview High, she was just a target wrapped in silence, but no one knew what she carried. Mira had moved to town with her mother after a bitter divorce left them with nothing but a suitcase and broken promises. Every time Mira changed schools, and this was the fourth in 2 years, she promised herself she'd stay invisible, that no one would get close enough to laugh at her again. But Ridgeview wasn't a place for invisibility, especially when kids like Jaden ruled the halls. Jaden was loud, the kind of loud that didn't care if it hurt. Captain of the wrestling team, self-declared king of the cafeteria, and a magnet for followers who laughed when he mocked someone. He noticed Mira on day 2. "Hey, new girl," he called across the hall. "You lose your voice? Or are you just too good to talk to peasants like us?" Laughter. Echo's eyes turned. Mira froze. She said nothing, and that's what made them come back harder. By day 4, it got cruel. Jaden and his crew started following Mira between classes, mimicking her walk, her silence, even staging fake panic attacks in the hallway. At lunch, he plopped down across from her with a smirk. "You anxious or just weird? Blink twice if you're possessed." Mira blinked once, then again, and Jaden laughed until he coughed. Her hand stayed beneath the table, gripping the hem of her hoodie, knuckles white. Her heart beat like war drums inside her chest, but she said nothing until gym class. Friday afternoon, gymnasium. The class was practicing basic self-defense moves. Coach Thompson demonstrated a shoulder throw, explaining the importance of balance and using your opponent's weight. Most of the students rolled their eyes, more interested in scrolling their phones than learning how to fall without breaking something. Mira stood in the far corner, half shadowed by the bleachers. Jaden spotted her and saw another opportunity. He stepped forward, grinning like a shark. "Coach," he said, raising his hand. "Can I try it with Mira? She looks like she needs to toughen up." Laughter again. Even Coach Thompson hesitated, only if Myra's okay with it. Eyes lifted. For the first time all week, she met Jaden's stare and nodded. The gym hushed. Jaden swaggered over, cracking his knuckles, fully expecting her to flinch or bolt. Instead, Mira stepped onto the mat and calmly took her stance. Coach gave the signal. Jaden lunged, and in a breath, a single, silent moment, Mira pivoted, grabbed his arm, and flipped him clean over her shoulder. He hit the mat with a thud that echoed. The gym went dead quiet. Jaden blinked up at the ceiling, wind knocked out of him, mouth agape. Myra stood over him, calm, composed. "Don't touch me again," she said softly, voice steady for the first time. Coach Thompson blinked in awe, and someone clapped, then another and another, until the room thundered with applause. Word spread like wildfire, turns out. Mira's mom had been a martial arts instructor. Mira had trained since she was 5, but life had buried that part of her just like everything else, until someone gave her a reason to remember it. Jaden never mocked her again. In fact, he avoided eye contact completely. The bullies lost their power the moment she took hers back, and slowly, the same students who once whispered about her began to wave, to sit beside her, to ask how her day was. Not because she flipped someone, but because she stood up. The challenge wasn't just the bullying. It was fear, self-doubt, the voice in Mira's head that said she was nothing, that she didn't belong. But when she stepped forward, even with her heart screaming to run, she rewrote the story, one quiet, strong moment at a time. By the end of the year, Mira was no longer the anxious new girl. She was just Mira, and that was more than enough. Moral: never mistake silence for weakness. Sometimes the quiet ones are just gathering strength, and when they rise with power you'll never forget.